Hello, everyone, and welcome to the English Growth. My name is Peter.
And I'm Sarah. Today, we're bringing you another professional English lesson, perfect for anyone who wants to sound confident and natural at work.
That's right. Whether you're preparing for a job interview, a meeting, or just chatting with your manager, today's topic will help you express yourself clearly and professionally.
Our focus today is something almost everyone gets asked at some point. So, what are your career goals?
Oh, yes, that question. It sounds simple, but it can really make people nervous.
Exactly. Many English learners struggle to find the right words to explain their goals, especially in formal or business situations.
So, in this episode, we'll show you how to talk about your career goals in natural, fluent English without sounding too formal or too casual.
We'll guide you step by step through real conversations, useful phrases, and cultural insights. Everything you need to speak with confidence.
All right, let's get started. So, Sarah, let me ask you the famous question, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh no, that one again. Every time someone asks that, I forget who I am, what I do, and why I exist.
Exactly. It's one of those classic career questions that sounds simple, but makes your brain freeze.
True, because you want to sound confident, professional, and smart, but not like a robot.
And that's what today's episode is all about. How to talk about your career goals in natural English, at work, in interviews, or even with friends.
Whether you're a student preparing for your first job or a professional planning your next move, this episode will help you express your goals clearly and naturally.
We'll show you how to explain what you want, why you want it, and how you plan to get there, all in calm, confident English.
No complicated grammar, just real, modern language that people actually use in professional life.
Career conversations are everywhere. Job interviews, annual reviews, even coffee chats with your boss.
And sometimes learners worry, what if my English isn't strong enough to explain my goals?
Don't worry. By the end of this lesson, you'll be ready to talk about your goals like a pro.
We'll learn key vocabulary like promotion, position, career path, mentor, and growth mindset.
And we'll teach you polite but confident phrases like, I'm working toward a leadership role, or my long-term goal is to manage a team.
Plus, we'll help you avoid small but common mistakes, like mixing up goal and dream.
Let's start simple. A career goal doesn't have to mean something huge, like becoming a CEO.
Right. It can be small and practical. For example, I want to improve my presentation skills. I hope to get promoted next year. I'm learning data analysis because it helps in my job.
Exactly. These are real goals, short-term, simple, and powerful.
Many learners think they need to talk about vision or mission, but you can keep it simple and still sound professional.
So here's what we'll do in this episode. First, a realistic dialogue between two coworkers planning a career change and one guiding them through it.
You'll listen carefully to how they describe their goals, fears, and plans using natural, modern English.
Ready? Let's move into the dialogue. So, Sarah, let's imagine it's a Monday morning. We're sitting in a coffee shop near the office, and I ask, so what's next for you? Any career goals this year?
Good question. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I feel like I've been doing the same kind of work for a few years now. I want something new, something that helps me grow.
That's a good way to put it. Growth is such an important word when we talk about careers. So, what kind of growth are you looking for?
I think I want to move into a leadership position. Maybe become a team manager or a project coordinator. I enjoy mentoring new employees, and I feel ready to take on more responsibility.
That sounds great. You've got strong communication skills, and people trust you. So becoming a team leader makes perfect sense.
Thanks, Peter. But honestly, I'm not sure how to start. Should I ask my manager about promotion opportunities or Maybe take some extra courses first?
Both could help. You can tell your manager you're interested in growing within the company, something like, I'd love to take on more leadership tasks this year. It's polite, but shows confidence.
Yeah, I like that. Sometimes I worry it sounds too direct, but in professional English, being clear is actually a good thing, right?
Absolutely. In many English-speaking workplaces, being clear and proactive is seen as professional, not rude. Managers appreciate when you express your goals directly but respectfully.
That's good to know. Another thing I'm working on is expanding my skill set. I've been taking an online course in data analytics. It's really interesting, and I think it'll make me more valuable to the team.
Perfect example. Employers love when employees take initiative. You could say in an interview, I'm currently developing my skills in data analytics to support my team's performance. That sounds confident and modern.
I like that phrasing. It's professional but still natural, not too formal.
Exactly. That's the key to career communication. Balance. You don't want to sound like a textbook, but you also don't want to sound casual or unprepared.
Right. Actually, I remember my last performance review. My manager asked, "Where do you see yourself in the next 2 years?" And I froze. I just said, working hard?
I think we've all done that. It's okay, but now you can be ready next time. You could say, in the next 2 years, I hope to lead small projects and improve my presentation skills.
That's so much better. Simple, specific, and positive.
Exactly. The secret is clarity. Even short answers sound great if they're focused.
You know, Peter, I've also thought about switching industries. I like marketing, but I'm curious about tech. Maybe something in digital communication or product management.
That's a smart direction. You can say something like, I'm interested in moving into a role that combines communication and technology. That shows you know what you want, but you're open to learning.
That's perfect. It's polite but clear. Sometimes I translate from my native language and it sounds too strong in English, like, I want to change my job immediately.
Yeah, that can sound harsh. Instead, you can use softer expressions like, I'm exploring new opportunities, or I'm looking to grow in a new direction.
Ooh, I like that. Grow in a new direction. That sounds natural and positive.
Exactly. It's one of those phrases that fits almost every professional situation. So let's list some good phrases for talking about goals. I'm aiming to improve my leadership skills. I'm working toward a management position. My long-term goal is to specialize in project strategy. I'm developing skills to prepare for my next step.
Beautiful examples. Each one is short and powerful. You could use them in a meeting, an interview, or even a networking event.
Speaking of networking, I always feel nervous at professional events. I never know what to say after, "Hi, nice to meet you."
That's very common. You can try this. After introducing yourself, add a small statement about your role or interest. For example, I work in digital marketing and I'm currently focusing on brand strategy. That naturally invites questions.
Ah, that's clever. It gives people a reason to continue the conversation.
Exactly. Then, if someone asks about your goals, you can say, I'm hoping to lead larger campaigns next year. That shows ambition without sounding arrogant.
That's a good one. In my native language, I might say, I will be a leader next year, but that can sound a bit strong in English, right? Right. In English-speaking work culture, tone is everything. You want to sound sure of yourself, but also humble and open to feedback.
That's so true. Sometimes confidence in one language sounds like arrogance in another.
Exactly. That's why tone and phrasing matter so much in English for professionals.
Okay, let me try one. I'm aiming to build stronger cross-team communication this year.
Perfect. That's specific, realistic, and sounds natural.
Thanks. I feel like I'm getting better at this already.
You are. Here's another useful structure. I'm currently working on, plus skill, or goal. For example, I'm currently working on improving my negotiation skills.
That's simple and professional. I can use it almost in any situation.
Exactly. It's one of the safest and most flexible ways to describe progress.
Let's also mention how to talk about long-term goals. You don't always need a perfect plan, right?
True. It's fine to keep it open. You could say, in the long term, I hope to grow into a leadership role. Or, eventually, I'd like to start my own project. It shows ambition, but also realism.
That's a great tip. It sounds natural even if you're not 100% sure of your future.
Exactly. In English, people respect honesty. You can say what you're exploring instead of pretending to have every detail figured out.
This is really practical. It feels like I'm building not just vocabulary, but also mindset.
That's the goal. English for Professionals is not just about words, it's about attitude and clarity.
I love that. Okay, final question for you, Peter. What are your career goals?
Oh, nice turn. I think mine are simple: to keep creating great English content and help more learners around the world.
That's a good one. And I guess mine is to become more confident when speaking publicly, especially in English.
Perfect. And that's exactly what this episode is about: learning to express those goals naturally.
Couldn't agree more. All right, let's take a short break from the conversation and move to our vocabulary section.
Coming up next, we'll break down all the useful words and expressions you just heard so you can use them easily in your own job or interviews. All right, let's talk about the useful vocabulary from our conversation. These are words and phrases you can use in interviews, meetings, and professional chats when discussing your career goals.
Yes, and remember, you don't need to memorize everything. Just listen, repeat, and try to use a few of them in your next conversation about work.
We've divided today's words into 3 levels: basic, useful, and advanced. Let's start with the basics. The first word is goal, G-O-A-L.
A goal is something you want to achieve. It can be small or big.
Example: my goal is to improve my English. Or, my career goal is to become a team leader.
You can also say set a goal. For example, I set a goal to read 1 English article every day.
Next word, skill.
A skill means something you can do well because you learned or practiced it.
Example: communication is an important skill in every job. Or, I'm learning new computer skills.
You can also say soft skills like teamwork or leadership, and technical skills like programming or accounting.
Another basic word is promotion.
A promotion means moving to a higher position at work, usually with more responsibility or a better salary.
Example: I got a promotion last month. Or, she's working hard for a promotion.
You can also say get promoted. He was promoted to manager.
Now let's move to the useful group, words you'll often hear in offices or interviews.
The first one is career path.
A career path means the direction your job life is going, the series of positions you might hold over time.
Example: I started as a sales assistant, but my career path led me to marketing.
Or, she's planning her career path carefully before making changes.
Next phrase, skill set.
Skill set means the collection of skills you have.
For example, my skill set includes project management and data analysis.
You can say, I want to expand my skill set, which means you want to learn more abilities.
Another useful word is mentor.
A mentor is a person who guides and supports you, especially at work.
Example: my manager is my mentor. She always gives me advice on how to grow.
You can also say, I'm looking for a mentor to help me develop my career.
Here's a very common word: deadline.
Deadline means the final time when something must be finished.
For example, I have to submit this report before the deadline.
Or, we're working hard to meet the deadline.
The next phrase is apply for.
Apply for means to officially ask for something like a job or a course.
For example, I applied for a new position last week. Or she's applying for an internship abroad.
When you talk about career goals, you can say, I plan to apply for a management role next year. Let's go a little deeper with advanced professional words.
The first one is career trajectory.
Career trajectory means the general direction your career is moving over time, upwards, sideways, or changing fields.
Example, her career trajectory shows steady progress from intern to director.
You can also say, I'm aiming to shape a strong career trajectory in education.
Next phrase, professional development.
Professional development means learning and training to improve your job skills.
For example, the company supports professional development through workshops.
Or, my goal is continuous professional development, to keep learning and growing.
Another advanced one, transferable skills.
Transferable skills are abilities you can use in different jobs or industries.
For example, good communication and teamwork are transferable skills useful anywhere.
So, if you change careers, you can say, I want to use my transferable skills in a new role.
Here's another advanced one, growth mindset.
Growth mindset means believing that you can improve with effort and learning.
For example, people with a growth mindset see mistakes as opportunities to learn.
You could say, I try to maintain a growth mindset in my career.
And one more, networking.
Networking means building professional relationships that can help you learn, share ideas, or find job opportunities.
For example, networking events help professionals meet new people in their field.
You can say, I'm improving my networking skills by joining online communities. Let's practice a few of these together in short sentences. Repeat after me. I'm expanding my skill set this year.
I'm applying for a new position at my company.
My mentor helps me plan my career path.
I'm focusing on professional development to reach my goals.
I want to use my transferable skills in a new industry.
Nicely done. Even repeating these a few times a week helps your pronunciation and fluency.
Let's hear a short example using some of these words naturally.
Sure.
Hey, Sarah, are you still planning to apply for that marketing position?
Yes, I am. My mentor said it's a good step in my career path.
That's great. You've got a strong skill set for it, and your presentation skills are excellent.
Thanks. I've been focusing on professional development and networking a lot this year.
Perfect. That's how you use real professional English in short, clear sentences.
Let's quickly review what we learned.
Basic words, goal, skill, promotion.
Useful words, career path, skill set, mentor, deadline, apply for.
Advanced words, career trajectory, professional development, transferable skills, growth mindset, and networking.
Excellent. These are powerful words that show you can communicate clearly and think about your future.
And now that you understand them, we'll explore how culture affects the way people talk about their career goals around the world.
That's coming up next, Section 4, Cultural and Practical Notes.
So now that we know the key vocabulary, let's talk about something that often surprises learners, the cultural side of career conversations.
Yes, how people talk about their goals can sound completely different depending on where you are in the world.
Exactly. In some countries, being direct and confident about your goals sounds impressive, but in others, it can sound arrogant or too forward.
For example, in many Western workplaces, like in the United States, Canada, or the UK, it's normal to talk about your goals clearly. People might say, I want to move into management, or I hope to lead a project soon.
Right. It shows ambition and motivation, which are often seen as positive qualities. Managers want to know that you have direction and drive.
But in some Asian or Middle Eastern workplaces, people are more careful. They might not talk directly about promotions or leadership. Instead, they show it through action by working hard, supporting the team, and waiting for the right time.
That's true. For example, a Japanese employee might say, "I'd like to continue contributing to the company and improving my skills," rather than, "I want to be a manager next year."
Both sentences are about growth, but the tone is different. One sounds more modest and team-focused, the other sounds more individual and goal-focused.
And that's an important lesson. Cultural tone matters as much as vocabulary.
Definitely. If you work in an international environment, you need to balance both confidence and respect.
Exactly. For example, if you're talking to a Western manager, it's good to use confident phrases like, "I'm aiming to develop leadership experience."
But if you're in a more traditional setting, you can soften it a little. You might say, "I hope to continue growing and supporting my team in new ways."
Same meaning, different tone, and both sound polite and professional.
Another big difference is how people discuss mistakes or challenges. In many English-speaking workplaces, talking about your weaknesses isn't a bad thing.
Yes, in fact, during interviews, employers often ask, "What's one area you'd like to improve?" They're not trying to trap you, they just want to see self-awareness.
So, a natural answer could be something like, "I'm learning to manage my time more efficiently," or "I'm working on giving clearer feedback to my team."
Exactly. Notice the pattern. It starts with a weakness, but ends with positive action. That's what makes it sound professional.
But in some cultures, people feel uncomfortable talking about weaknesses because it feels like losing respect.
That's right. But in English, showing that you know your limits and that you're improving actually builds trust.
Another practical difference is body language and tone during these conversations.
Yes, English-speaking professionals often use eye contact, open posture, and steady speech when talking about goals. It shows confidence and sincerity.
While in some other cultures, less eye contact is a sign of respect. So again, context matters.
Let's talk about interviews for a second. Have you noticed how interviewers often start with, "Tell me about yourself"?
Yes, and many learners don't realize that's your first chance to show your career direction.
Exactly. A strong answer might be, "I've spent the past 3 years developing my skills in customer service, and now I'm ready to take on a team leader role."
It's short, confident, and gives a clear sense of your career path.
And that kind of answer works beautifully in English-speaking business culture. It tells the listener that you have purpose.
Another common situation is the annual performance review, when your manager asks about your goals for next year.
Right. Many people feel nervous in that meeting, but it's a great opportunity.
You can say, "I'd like to take on more project responsibilities," or "I'm interested in mentoring new employees." It shows initiative.
That's a great point. In English-speaking offices, people are often encouraged to show interest in developing themselves, not to wait for permission.
Yes, and that's part of the growth mindset culture we mentioned earlier, believing that improvement never stops.
Absolutely. Having a growth mindset means you see every experience as a chance to learn, not just a test to pass.
That attitude makes a big difference in how colleagues and managers see you.
Let's also mention a small but important cultural detail: how to express gratitude when discussing goals.
Oh, yes. When someone gives you feedback or advice, it's always polite to thank them. You can say, "Thank you for the feedback. I'll definitely think about that."
Or, "I appreciate your time and suggestions. It really helps me plan my next steps."
Those small expressions show maturity and emotional intelligence, things every workplace values.
Speaking of planning, let's talk about networking for a moment. Many learners feel uncomfortable with this idea.
True, in some cultures, networking feels like self-promotion, but in English-speaking workplaces, it's just about connection.
Exactly. It's not about bragging. It's about learning from others, sharing ideas, and finding mentors or opportunities naturally.
You can start small. connect with colleagues on LinkedIn, join an online community, or simply talk to coworkers after a meeting.
And when you do, you can say something natural like, I really enjoyed your presentation. I'd love to stay in touch.
That's perfect. It sounds professional and friendly at the same time.
Another cultural difference is how people describe success.
Oh, yes, that's fascinating. In some places, success is defined by titles and money. In others, it's about learning, stability, or freedom.
That's why when you talk about goals in English, it's good to include both sides, career progress and personal growth.
For example, I'd like to take on more leadership at work and also maintain a healthy work-life balance.
Beautiful. That shows emotional balance, a quality modern workplaces respect.
So the takeaway here is simple. There's no single right way to talk about career goals. It depends on your culture, your environment, and your personality.
Exactly. What matters most is that your English feels honest, respectful, and clear.
And that you understand how tone, word choice, and attitude can change meaning across cultures.
Well said. Up next, we'll take all these ideas and turn them into practical phrases you can use right away.
Coming next, the Fluency Builder section, where you'll learn how to sound confident and natural when talking about your career.
All right, now it's time to practice sounding fluent. In this section, we'll learn short, natural phrases that you can use right away when talking about your career goals.
Yes, these are the kind of expressions that make you sound confident, polite, and professional, the way real people speak at work.
Let's start with one of the most flexible structures. I'm working toward.
It means you're making progress on something, step by step. For example, I'm working toward a management position. Or I'm working toward improving my presentation skills.
Great. Try saying it aloud right now. I'm working toward, and then add your real goal. Maybe, I'm working toward becoming fluent in English. Perfect.
Another useful phrase is, I'm aiming to. It's very common and soft in tone. For example, I'm aiming to finish my certification this year.
Or, I'm aiming to take on more leadership responsibilities. It's clear, but not aggressive. Next, my short-term goal is, and my long-term goal is. These two help you sound organized and focused.
Yes. For instance, my short-term goal is to get better at time management. My long-term goal is to become a department head.
Excellent. You can use that pattern in interviews, performance reviews, or networking chats.
Here's another natural phrase, in the long run. It's similar to in the future, but sounds more fluent. Example, in the long run, I'd like to start my own business.
And the opposite version, right now I'm focused on, for example, right now I'm focused on learning project management.
These time phrases, short-term, long-term, right now, in the long run, help structure your answers clearly.
Absolutely. They show that you think in stages, which sounds professional and calm.
Let's move to polite goal-setting expressions. One of my favorites is, I hope to.
Yes, I hope to is softer than I want to, and it's great for business English. For example, I hope to grow within this company, or I hope to take on new challenges soon.
And if you want to sound a little stronger, you can say, I plan to, or I'm planning to. Like, I'm planning to apply for a senior position next quarter.
Those small changes, from want to plan or hope, make a big difference in tone.
Another phrase I like is, I'm open to. It's useful when you're flexible. For example, I'm open to learning new tools, or I'm open to opportunities in other departments.
Good one. It shows you're adaptable, something managers love to hear.
And here's a confident one. I'd like to. Take on. It means you want to accept a new responsibility. For example, I'd like to take on more client projects this year.
Exactly. It's polite, but shows initiative.
Let's practice some of these together. Repeat after me. I'm working toward improving my communication skills. I'm aiming to lead a small team. My short-term goal is to finish my course. My long-term goal is to move into management.
Nice. And now a few examples for real-life conversations.
Imagine you're at an interview. The interviewer asks, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" You could say, "In 5 years, I hope to be in a leadership position, helping others grow."
Perfect. It sounds natural, positive, and not rehearsed.
Or at work, when your boss asks about your progress, you can say, "Right now, I'm focused on improving our client communication process."
That's short and clear. Exactly what professionals use.
Now let's talk about motivation phrases, words that show energy and commitment. One is, "I'm passionate about."
Yes. For example, I'm passionate about continuous learning, or I'm passionate about creating great user experiences.
Passionate can sound strong, but if you say it sincerely, it's a great way to show enthusiasm.
Another is, I'm motivated by. Example, I'm motivated by challenges that help me grow.
It's a good phrase to answer the classic interview question, "What motivates you at work?"
You can also say, I'm driven by results, or I'm inspired by teamwork.
That's excellent. Short phrases like these help you speak naturally and confidently, without long explanations.
Here's another group of phrases that sound very fluent. I'm developing, I'm improving, I'm learning to.
They all show ongoing action. For example, "I'm developing my negotiation skills," or "I'm learning to manage cross-cultural teams."
These sound humble but active, perfect for workplaces where learning never stops.
Let's do a mini challenge. Peter, I'll say a situation, and you give me a natural English line.
Okay, ready.
You're in a job interview, and they ask, "What's your next step professionally?"
I'd say, I'm planning to expand my role and take on new challenges that build my leadership skills.
Nice. Now imagine you're in a casual chat with a colleague who asks, "So, what are you focusing on these days?"
Right now, I'm focused on developing my project coordination skills.
Excellent. And one more. Your manager says, "Tell me one goal you'd like to achieve this quarter."
I could answer, I'm working toward completing my professional certification.
Perfect answers. Natural, professional, and realistic.
Here's a small pronunciation tip. When native speakers say these, they often connect the words. I'm working toward becomes I'm working toward. I'm going to becomes I'm gonna.
Right. You don't need to copy it exactly, but being aware of that rhythm helps you understand and sound smoother.
Exactly. Fluency is not only about words, it's about sound, tone, and rhythm.
Let's summarize some of our favorite phrases so far. I'm working toward, I'm aiming to, my short-term goal is, in the long run, I'm open to, I'd like to take on, I'm passionate about, I'm motivated by.
Beautiful set. If you master just these, you'll be able to talk about your career goals confidently in any conversation.
So take a moment, choose one or two that feel right for you, and repeat them a few times out loud.
Maybe even record yourself saying them. Listening to your own voice helps you notice small improvements each time.
Exactly. That's how you build natural fluency, through short, daily practice, not long study sessions.
And that's what we'll do next. Coming up, we'll guide you through some interactive prompts, small tasks to practice everything we've learned.
Yes, get ready to speak with us, reflect on your own goals, and try some short challenges.
Let's move on to Section 6, Interactive Prompts. All right, now it's your turn to speak. In this section, we'll practice everything you've learned with short, guided prompts.
Yes, don't just listen, speak out loud. That's how real fluency happens. Even if you're alone, imagine you're talking to a coworker, teacher, or friend.
Let's start with something simple. Think about your work or studies right now. What's one thing you'd like to improve in the next few months?
Say it using this sentence pattern. One of my career goals is to, and then add your idea.
For example, one of my career goals is to become more confident when presenting in meetings.
Great! Now it's your turn. Say it out loud. One of my career goals is to...
Excellent. Now let's move on.
Think about your skills. What's something new you've learned recently that helps your career?
Use this pattern. I'm developing my skills in, and finish the sentence.
For example, I'm developing my skills in digital marketing. Or, I'm developing my skills in time management.
Go ahead. Say yours now. I'm developing my skills in...
Nice. Remember, you can practice this pattern with any area: design, teaching, customer service, communication, leadership.
Now, let's make it a little more advanced. Imagine you're at a job interview, and the interviewer asks, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?"
Try to answer using what you've learned. Keep it short. 2 sentences are enough.
Example, in 5 years, I hope to lead a small team and continue learning about project management.
Great. Now say your version. What do you want your work life to look like in 5 years?
Good. Keep your tone calm and natural. Avoid rushing. Speak as if you're having a real conversation.
Let's try another one. Imagine your manager asks, "What motivates you at work?"
You can start with, I'm motivated by...
For example, I'm motivated by solving problems that help customers. Or I'm motivated by learning new skills.
Your turn. Say one sentence starting with, I'm motivated by.
Nice job! Keep that sentence structure in mind. It's short, strong, and natural.
Now let's switch situations. Imagine you're at a networking event. Someone asks, "So what are you focusing on these days?"
You can say, "Right now I'm focused on," and finish with something related to your work.
For example, right now I'm focused on improving my writing skills. Or, right now I'm focused on building better client relationships.
Go ahead. Say your own version aloud. Right now, I'm focused on...
Excellent. You sound more professional every time you practice like this.
Now let's talk about long-term dreams. It's okay to sound hopeful. You can start with, "In the long run, I'd like to..."
Example, in the long run, I'd like to start my own design studio. Or, in the long run, I'd like to move abroad and work internationally. Your turn. Say one sentence starting with, in the long run, I'd like to. Good work. Remember, English fluency grows when you connect words to your real life.
Here's another one. Think about something you're learning right now. Maybe a course, a tool, or even English itself.
Try saying, I'm currently working on, and finish the sentence.
For example, I'm currently working on improving my presentation style. Or, I'm currently working on learning data visualization.
Your turn. Say it out loud. I'm currently working on...
Great! Keep going until it feels natural to say these phrases without thinking.
Let's try a mini reflection task. Think about one strength and one area you'd like to improve.
First, say one strength. For example, I'm good at managing time, or I'm confident in team discussions.
Now, say one area for improvement using this pattern. I'm learning to. Example, I'm learning to delegate tasks more effectively.
Perfect. This kind of balanced language sounds very professional, confident but humble.
Okay, let's practice expressing flexibility. Say this pattern, I'm open to, and complete it.
For example, I'm open to new projects that challenge me. Or, I'm open to relocating for the right opportunity.
Go ahead. Your turn. I'm open to. Nicely done. Phrases like this are great for interviews or networking because they show openness and adaptability.
Now let's move to a small challenge. You're talking to your boss in a one-on-one meeting. They ask, how do you plan to grow this year?
You can use this structure. I plan to, or I'm planning to.
Example, I'm planning to take a leadership course to build my management skills.
Or, I plan to improve my communication by giving more presentations. Now it's your turn. Say one or two sentences using I plan to. Excellent. Every time you speak, you're strengthening both your language and your confidence.
Let's try something creative. Imagine you're talking to your younger self, 5 years ago. What advice would you give about career goals?
Think for a moment. Then say a full sentence starting with, if I could talk to my past self, I'd say. Example, if I could talk to my past self, I'd say, don't be afraid to take new opportunities.
Or, if I could talk to my past self, I'd say, learn English earlier. It opens doors.
Beautiful. Exercises like this help you connect emotionally with your English practice.
Let's do one last reflection task. Think about why your career goals matter to you.
Try saying, my goal is important to me because, and explain it in one or two sentences.
For example, my goal is important to me because I want to feel proud of my work. Or, my goal is important to me because it helps my family and community.
Wonderful. Speaking from the heart builds confidence and fluency together.
Before we wrap up this section, let's review the most useful patterns we practiced today.
One of my career goals is to, I'm developing my skills in, I'm motivated by, right now I'm focused on, in the long run I'd like to, I'm currently working on, I'm open to, I plan to.
If you repeat these patterns often, they'll become automatic. Then, when someone asks you about your goals, your English will flow naturally.
So, keep practicing. Say them out loud every day, on your way to work, during a walk, or in front of a mirror.
That's how fluency is built, one clear sentence at a time.
In the next section, we'll quickly review all the key words and expressions you've learned so far and help you reinforce them with short, clear examples.
Stay with us. Section 7, Quick Review, is next.
All right, let's do a quick and powerful review of everything we've learned so far.
Yes, this section is your chance to repeat, remember, and really make these words part of your everyday English.
We started with one simple idea. Talking about your career goals should feel natural, not stressful.
Exactly. You just need the right words and tone, not big, fancy sentences.
Let's begin with vocabulary. We'll go step by step. Repeat after us if you can.
The word goal, something you want to achieve. Example, my goal is to improve my communication skills.
Skill, an ability that you learn through practice. Example, time management is an important skill.
Promotion, when you move to a higher position at work. Example, she got a promotion after 2 years.
Career path, the direction your job or professional life is going. Example, I'm planning my career path carefully.
Skill set, a group of abilities you have. Example, my skill set includes marketing and design.
Mentor, someone who guides and supports you. Example, my mentor helps me stay focused on my goals.
Deadline, the final time to complete something. Example, we have to submit the report before the deadline.
Apply for, to officially ask for something, like a job. Example, I'm applying for a new position at my company.
Career trajectory, the direction your career moves over time. Example, his career trajectory shows steady growth.
Professional development, learning and training to improve your job skills. Example, the company offers many professional development workshops.
Transferable skills, abilities you can use in many jobs. Example, communication and teamwork are transferable skills.
Growth mindset, the belief that you can always improve with effort. Example, I try to keep a growth mindset at work.
Networking, building professional relationships. Example, networking helps you discover new opportunities.
Perfect. Those are your 12 essential words for career conversations.
Now, let's quickly review the fluent phrases we practiced.
Repeat after me. I'm working toward.
Example, I'm working toward a management role.
I'm aiming to.
I'm aiming to finish my certification this year.
My short-term goal is.
My short-term goal is to improve my public speaking.
My long-term goal is.
My long-term goal is to become a department head.
In the long run.
In the long run, I'd like to start my own company.
Right now, I'm focused on.
Right now, I'm focused on developing leadership skills.
I hope to.
I hope to grow within this company.
I plan to.
I plan to apply for a senior role next year.
I'm open to.
I'm open to learning new tools and taking new challenges.
I'd like to take on.
I'd like to take on more responsibility.
I'm passionate about.
I'm passionate about helping people improve.
I'm motivated by.
I'm motivated by seeing results from my work.
Excellent. These are the phrases that make your speech sound fluent, confident, and modern.
And when you put them together, you can create natural, full sentences about your professional life.
Let's practice a few examples using combinations of what we've learned.
Repeat after us, or just say it in your own rhythm.
I'm working toward improving my presentation skills because I hope to lead client meetings.
I'm developing my communication skills and applying for new roles.
My short-term goal is to complete my course, and my long-term goal is to manage a team.
I'm passionate about growth and open to new challenges.
I plan to focus on professional development this year.
Fantastic. If you can say even 2 or 3 of these sentences clearly, you already sound much more natural.
Now, let's make this review a little more active. I'll ask short questions, you answer out loud. Ready? Let's go. What's one skill you're developing right now?
Say, I'm developing my skills in.
What's your short-term goal this month?
Start with, my short-term goal is.
What motivates you at work?
Start with, I'm motivated by.
What are you focusing on right now?
Right now, I'm focused on.
Excellent. By answering out loud, you're practicing both your fluency and your confidence.
And remember, fluency is not about speaking fast. It's about speaking smoothly.
Let's review a few pronunciation and rhythm points, too. When you speak naturally, connect the sounds. I'm working toward becomes I'm working toward. I'm going to becomes I'm gonna.
Don't worry if it feels strange at first. The more you listen and repeat, the easier it becomes.
Exactly. Fluency grows through rhythm, through hearing yourself use real English in real time.
Another quick tip, record yourself saying a few of today's phrases, then listen back. You'll notice how your tone and clarity improve every week.
Great idea. You can even keep a short career English journal. Write your goals in English and say them aloud every few days.
That's such a powerful habit because the more your goals live in your language, the more real they feel.
Let's end this quick review with a short speed round. We'll say phrases quickly, you repeat them if you can.
Ready? Here we go.
I'm working toward a new role.
I'm aiming to learn new skills.
I hope to grow in this company.
I plan to apply for a promotion.
I'm open to new challenges.
I'm passionate about teamwork.
My long-term goal is to lead a team.
In the long run, I'd like to start my own business.
Excellent job.
Yes. Every time you repeat and review, your brain strengthens the memory. It's like exercise. Small steps build real fluency.
So even after this episode, keep these sentences alive. Use them at work, in class, or when journaling.
And remember, clear, simple English always sounds confident.
That's right. Coming up next, we'll wrap everything together, share one final motivation tip, and leave you with a small homework challenge.
Let's head to our final section, Section 8, Wrap Up.
All right, we've reached the end of today's episode, and what a journey it's been.
Yes, we've explored how to talk about your career goals in English, step by step, from vocabulary to culture to confident speaking.
Let's take a moment to look back at what we've learned together.
First, we discovered that career conversations don't need to be stressful. When you use clear language, they can actually be inspiring.
Exactly. We learned simple but powerful words like goal, promotion, mentor, skill set, and growth mindset. Words that make your English sound professional without sounding complicated.
Then we talked about cultural differences, how some workplaces prefer direct language, while others value polite or softer tones.
We also practiced useful real-life phrases like I'm working toward, I'm aiming to, I'm open to, and in the long run. These small expressions help you sound natural, no matter the situation.
And most importantly, we practiced speaking out loud. Because learning English is not just about knowing the words, it's about using them with confidence.
That's right. Fluency doesn't come from reading. It comes from repetition, rhythm, and real emotion.
So, let's do one final mini reflection before we close. Think about everything we discussed today. If you had to describe your main career goal in just one sentence, what would you say?
Take a few seconds and say it out loud.
Maybe, my goal is to grow into a leadership position. Or, my goal is to keep improving my communication and confidence.
Whatever your sentence is, that's your starting point. The more you repeat it, the more real it becomes.
There's a saying in English, clarity creates confidence. When you're clear about what you want, your words flow naturally.
And your English improves too, because language is stronger when it's connected to your real life.
So, here's your friendly homework challenge.
Tonight, before you sleep, write down 3 sentences about your career goals in English.
1 short-term goal, 1 long-term goal, and 1 personal goal.
For example, my short-term goal is to become more confident in meetings. My long-term goal is to manage a small team. My personal goal is to maintain work-life balance.
Then read them aloud 3 times, slowly, clearly, and with belief.
If you do this regularly, you'll see 2 results. Your English will become smoother, and your goals will feel more achievable, because language and mindset grow together.
That's right. That's why the English growth exists, to help learners speak English in a way that feels connected to real life, not like memorizing a textbook.
You're not just learning grammar and vocabulary, you're learning to express your ideas, emotions, and ambitions in English.
And that's the real meaning of fluency. It's not about perfection, it's about clarity, rhythm, and courage.
I like that word, courage, because speaking a second language always takes courage.
It does. But every time you say a sentence out loud, every time you try again, you're building confidence, word by word.
So if you ever feel shy about speaking English, remember, confidence grows through small actions.
Exactly. Even 1 minute of practice each day adds up.
Think of it like fitness for your mind. The more you exercise your English, the stronger it becomes.
And you don't have to wait for the perfect moment. You can practice while cooking, walking, or commuting.
Just repeat simple lines in your head or aloud. I'm improving every day. I'm becoming more confident. My English helps me grow.
Those affirmations are powerful. They train your brain to see progress instead of fear.
Speaking of progress, remember how many phrases you've learned in this episode? You can now talk about your ambitions, describe your plans, and sound fluent while doing it. You've learned the language of confidence.
And you've learned that English for professionals isn't about using big, complicated words. It's about speaking clearly, kindly, and meaning what you say.
Before we finish, let's share one more motivational thought for our listeners.
Sure. Mine is this. Your goals become real the moment you speak them out loud.
Beautiful. And mine? Fluent English doesn't come from fear of mistakes. It comes from love of progress.
I love that. Progress over perfection. That's our motto.
Exactly. So keep going. Keep speaking. Keep growing.
Because every time you speak English, you're not just learning a language, you're building a stronger version of yourself.
Thank you for spending this time with us today. We hope this lesson helps you talk about your goals with confidence and clarity.
And remember, practice doesn't stop here. Come back to this episode anytime you need motivation or language review.
We're proud of your progress. Every single step counts.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep speaking with confidence.
This is Peter.
And I'm Sarah.
And together, we're here to help you grow your English one real conversation at a time.
Take care and see you in the next episode of The English Growth.